So we're so happy to welcome him back to Iowa for his first visit during the campaign. But before we do that, I need you to give him a warm Iowa welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Jenny and Brandon for the introduction. I want to thank Katy Perry for coming here to sing. I want to thank all of you for showing up and for supporting her. Look, I don't want to talk long because I've never been the warm-up act for Katy Perry before. But I am well aware I am the warm-up act. I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, the American people in the last 6 weeks have learned a lot about Hillary, what she's for, why she's running, and what kind of president she'd be. And if they watch Saturday Night Live, they know she's a pretty good bartender, too. It's been an interesting month for our family. 7 weeks ago, our granddaughter had her first birthday. And then we celebrated our 40th anniversary. And then we had that amazing debate in Las Vegas. It was great. And I have to say, even though I was immensely proud of her and I thought she did great, I was proud to be a Democrat because I watched 5 hours of the Republican debate. And, you know, none of our people, every disagreement they had was over an issue. Every difference of opinion was over whether this or that course would be best for the American people. That's politics at its best. Nobody insulted anybody else. Nobody was out there trying to get people to stop thinking. Nobody was out there trying to denigrate anybody. It made me proud. And then a couple of days ago, we had that 11-hour marathon in Washington. And I will say this. We had the friends of our lifetime, Hillary and I did, emailing me furiously saying they thought she was doing great and all that. And to every one of them, I wrote back a simple answer. I think I'll vote for her. And here's what I want to say to you, all of you. Hillary's basically run on 4 big issues. One, most important, securing this economic recovery and making sure that the benefits are broadly shared, that people actually have a chance to participate in it. So we heard you. And this guy, he really thinks you came to see him. So give him a big hand and maybe he'll know you got it. Thank you. And thank you. So the other thing, we got it. We got it. Oh, wait. Thank you. We got it. Will you please quit now? Thank you. Thank you. Give him a hand. Let me tell you something. At least that guy's for something. He didn't come here to badmouth anybody, and we ought to give him a hand. In this world, that's rare enough. All right, so look, I want to say these things real quick, and then we'll get on with the show. One is, we have gotten all the jobs back we lost in the crash. We got them back 2 years earlier than the historic average. Normally it takes 10 years to do that after a financial crash. But we don't have the income growth back. We don't have the job security back. We don't have the ability to educate people and get out of college without a crushing debt back. We don't have affordable child care. We're one of 9 nations in the world without paid family leave. We don't have equal pay for women, and that's why we only rank 20th in the world in the percentage of women in the workforce. It's killing us economically that we have denied these opportunities. So this is about how do you create broadly shared prosperity. I have reviewed these plans, and let me remind you, one time in 50 years did we all grow together, when I had the honor of serving as your president. When in percentage terms, the bottom 20%'s income grew as much as the top 5%. It hadn't happened before or since. Now, under President Obama, it couldn't happen because first we had to get over the worst crash since the Depression. So what we have to do is to build on that for broad-based prosperity. And the security of knowing you've got an education, that you can afford child care for your kids, that your kids can have access to pre-kindergarten so they're not going to be hurt developmentally, that women get equal pay for equal work, that nobody who works 40 hours a week works in poverty. This is a big deal. And to do that, we have to strengthen families, which is why all these family issues are important. And we have to deal with the fact that the political system has become dominated by negative hit strategies designed to get all these smart people, well paid, to spend hours and hours in dark rooms peering on the screens, looking for the least little thing they can find, that then you can turn into a big ad paid for by anonymous donors that will convince you that this person you thought was perfectly sane and nice was in fact an ogre waiting in the night for Halloween to destroy you all. We all know it's going on, and we've got to reject it. But if you want to do something about it, you have to realize the next president is probably going to make between 1 and 3 appointments to the U.S. Supreme Court. It's another reason to be for Hillary. If you want to do something, you have to stop rewarding the strategy of destruction and start rewarding people who want to build this country and let everybody have a part of it together. And the last thing I want to say that was illustrated, I thought, pretty well in that congressional hearing is you're electing someone. There's a person over here with a Fix the VA sign. I want to say something about that. You're electing someone to take the oath of office, to uphold all the duties of the president imposed by the Congress, including being commander-in-chief and head of the diplomatic forces of the country. Somebody who will do his or her best to stop big bad things from happening and make more good things happen. Believe it or not, the headlines are all bad, but the trend lines aren't. There's a lot of wonderful things going on in the world today. 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies are in Africa. Our friends in Latin America have upheld democracy against all the odds. We're about to have a peace in Colombia, looks like, after 40 years of fights fueled by the narco traffickers. We're getting along better with Cuba and trying to work out that. Things are moving in a different direction than you would know from the headlines. So when you elect a president, you got to say, who's the person I think is most likely to keep big bad things from happening and to make more good things happen? And to do it together so we can all be part of the future. I don't think there's a close question there. And that's what I want you to go talk to your friends and neighbors about. That's what I want you to caucus about. That's what I want you to insist that this election be about. It's about you and your families and your future. Now you just take that man over there with this VA sign. You've probably all read, whether you've got a veteran in your family or not, about all the problems with the VA. Believe it or not, when I was president, we had problems with the VA, and we fixed them, and it was widely acclaimed. What happened was, we wound up fighting 2 wars. The number of veterans poured back into America with a number of different healthcare problems, both mental and physical health, and a lot of those from the Vietnam era moved into their retirement years when they needed more health care, and the system was overwhelmed without a strategy to deal with it. The only thing I want to say is I believe that progress has been made, but there's more that needs to be done. Hillary was the first New Yorker ever to be on the Armed Services Committee. I have heard countless nights of horror stories of the challenges facing veterans' families and what needs to be done about them. You are hiring a president to do the big things right? To fight for broad-based prosperity, to fight for women's rights and gay rights and an inclusive society. But you're also fighting for somebody to figure out how the health care reform can include mental health. How the people that are left out and left behind, include people who are caught up in this unbelievable prescription drug and heroin craze that is sweeping across small towns in rural America, not just in big cities. To deal with the challenges that parents with children with autism face, and to fix things that we as an honorable nation must fix, like the VA system. This is the kind of thing. So that's the last point I want to make. This is a job. When I met Hillary in law school, there were only, I think, 23 women out of more than 200 students at our law school. Now more than half the lawyers in the country are women. But there were only 23. She was working in a legal aid clinic. When she got out of law school, she didn't take one of those law firm jobs. She went to work for the Children's Defense Fund. In the early 70s, she went to Georgia and Alabama to look into the conditions of poor foster kids and African-American 14 and 15-year-olds who were in jail as adults, to get them out of jail and get them decent treatment. When she was a kid, when she came home to Arkansas to marry me, she opened the first legal aid clinic we ever had at the university. Jimmy Carter put her on the Legal Services Corporation board, and at 29, the other board members elected her the chairman. She's still the youngest person ever to serve in that job. She started an advocacy group for families and children. She brought a preschool program in all the way from Israel because it taught poor parents to be their children's first teacher. When she was First Lady, she oversaw the effort to add millions of children to the rolls of health insurance. It's the biggest expansion of health care since Medicaid until the last Affordable Care Act passed. She worked with Republicans to get millions of kids out of foster care into permanent adoptive homes. When she was a senator, she worked with Republicans to help farmers. I won't be surprised in Iowa if you see some Republican farmers from New York show up here. One of them called me just the other day, said, I want to go back. He said, all I know is I'm not sure what party I'm in anymore, because when she was a senator, she is the only person who ever did anything for our farmers, and I want to help her. So that's the person I know, and the person America got to see again without all those barnacles in the debate, and then those 11 hours of testimony. And I just want you to know that that's why she still got the best friend that she had in grade school. Anybody whose best friend in grade school is still close to her sends her out breathless pictures of their 50th high school reunion, which she couldn't go to, is by definition a trustworthy, reliable, good person, unless they had a toy theft gang going in grade school. And I just want to say one other thing, and then I'll get off and let Katy get on here. There's been a lot of talk about breaking the glass ceiling. And I want to talk about one barrier that has not been broken. I want you to support Hillary for me too, because I want to break a ceiling. I am tired of the stranglehold that women have had on the job of presidential spouse. And I want you to look, we're laughing. This is serious business. I'd rather be in America's position looking to the future than any other country in the world. But it depends on whether we get serious, grow up, take our politics seriously and stop running each other down and start building everybody up. That's what this election's about. You can do that. And there's a lot of young people here, so I want to say one word to you. You need to show up, and your friends need to show up. One of the reasons that America is so politically polarized today is that one set of Americans shows up every time there's a presidential election, and then tons of them stay home when the next election occurs. So you've got one America electing presidents and another America electing Congresses, governors, state legislators, redistricting all the congressional districts. It doesn't work that way. If you want an end to negative politics, you have to stop rewarding it. Instead, you have to say, I want to claim my future. Believe me, I know how hard it is for a lot of people. We've been through stuff like this before. I'm no spring chicken. I've seen it all. But I promise you, there's not a better positioned country for the future than we are if we have the right leadership, if we make the right decisions, and if we decide we're going to do it together. God bless you. Thank you.
So much. Thank you to wonderful Mr. Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton. Thank you so much. Give it up to our musicians. We love you, Iowa. We appreciate your presence. Fight on. 2016 is right around the corner.
Katy Perry again for being here today. I am so thrilled she could join us for today and be here for all of you. And, you know, sometimes it's important, you just have to roar about what you need to fight for. I'm looking forward to a great dinner tonight and a chance for, once again, those of us who are Democrats standing up for the values that we believe in, that our country stands for. And I thank each and every one of you for being here with me. We're going to need your help in the months ahead. Will you all caucus for me on February the 1st? And then we've got to get to work the next day to make sure that we carry Iowa for the Democrats in November of 2016. This election is so important, and particularly for young people, because it really is about your future, and we've got to build on the progress that President Obama made and not let the Republicans rip it away. So join the campaign. Go to HillaryClinton.com. Sign up to volunteer and work with the great team that we have here in Iowa. And I have to say, it's pretty special to have the 42nd president here with me today. So we are geared up and ready to go. We're going to fight to the very end of this campaign for you and for your families, for fairness, for justice, for the kind of America that every one of you deserves. Thank you, and God bless you.